government has asked to withdraw the strike and come to the negotiation table for negotiations. So now the issues have not been resolved, and we have deemed it fit for us to resume the strike since government and its agencies are refusing to give us the needed audience.
Right now, learning is difficult for us because sometimes some of us have classes at 6:30, and because the junior staffs are on strike, we have to clean our various washrooms and places before we go for classes. And sometimes we are late, which the lecturers too don't understand why we have to be late because of this. Secondly, sometimes when you get to the class, the place is dirty, and the lecturer will be like, we should sweep or tidy up the place before we start the class, which affects us a lot because when we are doing this, it takes a lot of time, so it really affects us. So I'm pleading with the authorities to grant, like, to make the junior staffs come back to school. Like anything they want, they should try their possible best to give it to them so that they can come back to school to help us, so that we to have a comfortable stay in the University of Cape.
For the meantime, campus life has not been easy at all, considering the fact that Senior Staff Association and TEWU are on strike. Life on campus has been very bad.
My name is Nana Kwesi Ampia, a student of the University of Cape Coast, level 400. Since we reopened school, the students have taken it upon themselves to clean up our surroundings every morning and every evening in order to keep the place neat. But we are not having the required help from around to dispose of the rubbish, and so it overflows, and then it causes a lot of litter around, which is not good for our health. And so we are pleading with the Senior Staff Association to come back and help us with our rubbish. And we are putting it before the school administration also to try and collaborate with some of the waste management authorities to also come to our aid and help us with our current situation. We would ask the government to sit down with them and then come to a consensus with them, listen to their grievances, and if anything can be done about it, it should be done on time for us so that we can live our normal lives risk-free of diseases. Oh no, not at all. Right now, when you even go to the lecture halls, there's filth everywhere. It doesn't make the lecture interesting. So yes, that's the problem we have at hand at the moment. Looking at the current situation in our country, we are already battling with the coronavirus. And we are also here in the university campus, we are also part of the Ghanaians fighting this pandemic. And then right now on our campus, there's filth everywhere. And then these filth can breed diseases such as cholera. And so we are pleading with the government and also the Senior Staff Association to come to our aid, to help us and then resume work so that we wouldn't be battling with another pandemic on campus, because we are already fighting one and then we don't know what will happen if another outbreak comes up. And so we are really pleading that they should come to our aid so that we would live our normal lives risk-free of diseases. And so we are really pleading that they should come to our aid so that we would risk-free of the comes up. And so we are diseases. You come to our aid. So we are really pleading that they should would risk-free of diseases comes up. And so we are come to our aid. So we are really pleading that they should would diseases risk-free of the comes up. And so we are come to our aid. So we are really pleading that these diseases would risk-free of the comes up. And so we are come to our aid. So we are really pleading that these diseases would comes up. And so we are risk-free of the come to our aid. So we are really pleading that these diseases would comes up. And so we are risk-free of the come to our aid. So we are really pleading that these diseases
Before then, when you go to the administrative office, those senior staffs are those who take in charge of every administrative work. But as a result of the strike, something that could be done within a day. Now when you go there, there are no workers there to attend to you. And it has made the campus very difficult because the senior members cannot attend to us. And it is affecting us. Let's take, for instance, the dean of office has so many workers around. Like maybe for now that students have not registered for their fees, there has to be an office member who is a senior staff to help us channel our documents through the Director of Academic Affairs in order for them to listen to students play. But now there are nobody there. The thing has to take 2 days or more. And it is affecting us and it is making life very uncomfortable for us. And then when you come to the hall levels to administrative work, nobody is there. So when even the freshers need something, they get stranded because no one is there to attend to them. Administrative work
at the moment.
Nobody is there. Need something. So when even the freshers, they get stranded because attend to them.
Diseases at the moment.
Nobody is there. Need something. So when even the freshers, they get stranded because attend to them.
Diseases at the moment.
Nobody is there. Need something. So when even the freshers, they get stranded because administrative work.
Diseases at the moment.
Nobody is there. Need something. So when even the freshers, they get stranded because administrative work.
Diseases.
I've got a permanent, also known as Lord Draison.
They get stranded because
100 students keep our surroundings clean, and due to rapid or plenty of refuse dump, it leads to malaria. Yeah, it leads to malaria. Or it breeds mosquito in our rooms, which affects us in our studies. We are managing because we all come together and work as a team to keep our places nice. But it would be nice if the workers come around and start working. Yeah, I'll say that the government should let the workers come around and help us keep our surroundings clean so that
studies will be effective and stuff.
My name is Angela Kufo, reading Communication Studies, level 200. It has been very bad and very hectic since they are not around to work and the place is untidy. Like the refuse dump you can see over here overflowing. The bathhouse is also very dirty and bathing and other things is very difficult. We don't feel comfortable with it. Walking around in the dirt and then trying to study in it is very disturbing. It's very harmful. Malaria like this can be can be a cause of this death around us. Like last night, I was bitten by a lot of mosquitoes. Unlike usual, I've not experienced mosquitoes around since I came to school. But last night, like this, I was bitten by a lot of mosquitoes, and that can result to malaria, diarrhea, and other diseases related to death. I would tell the authorities and the government to come to our aid, to talk to the TEWU and the other authorities in charge to come help us in our study because it's really affecting us. We need to learn in a very tidy environment. But it's also a very big challenge because sometimes when I enter the bathhouse, it's very difficult for me to enter one of the chambers and bath because it's very dirty. So sometimes I have to join my other colleagues. We scrub a place before we bath and then we get very late to classes. And sometimes I want to throw rubbish away. I come here and it's overflowing. I don't know whether to add my own to it or not. So it's very disturbing. It's a very big challenge.
My name is Yahya Abdul Karim, a student of the University of Cape Coast. As no workers, and in this regard, senior staff, they hold many areas of academic work on campus, specifically when it comes to administration. They hold very critical portions there. If, for instance, a student has an issue with regard to resource rectification, it is most of these senior staff who work on it. So in their absence, it is a tried knowledge that the students will suffer before getting their results rectified. Now, certain things that previously you sent to administration and it is worked on immediately, it will have to take a longer time today before it is rectified. All these are putting so much struggle and hassle on the student's life. It is clear. I am not, I should say, I don't want to pretend that I'm privy to all the things that they are demanding, but we are all aware of the fact that they are on strike, which means someone in authority should bring them on board to have some discussion with them so that whatever their grievances are will at the end of the day be rectified. So I think that government or whoever is in authority that need to bring them on board, that need to judge with them, that need to have some roundtable discussion or whatever with them so that their grievances will at the end of it all be rectified, must do such a thing so that at the end of it all, students will have the academic work and have it easily. Of course, if you are reading a research-related or laboratory-related program, the sciences, in most cases, these senior staff who man these laboratories. So in their absence, definitely, laboratory works cannot take place. Most of these people too are research assistants to lecturers. So in their absence, who is going to provide the tutorialship to some of these students? So the students will, at the end of the day, suffer. They will not have access to labs. Even if you go to a library, before you access certain places, it is manned, or those places are manned by these senior staff. In their absence, those places cannot operate. Therefore, students will suffer. Therefore, students cannot get access to the place and get books to read and do whatever research that they want to do. All these have long-term effects. We may see it as having no effect today, but it has a long-term effect on these students. You know, we have been in the house for a long while because of coronavirus. So when coming to school, we were thinking that things are going to be smooth or to be hit by this strike as well. I don't think it's only senior staff who are on strike. TEWU too are on strike. The whole place is dirty. Let us note that coronavirus is a visiting disease, so to speak. Our disease as a country, we count cholera and the rest. And cholera, I believe when it hit us, the effects will be more rampant. The effects will be uncontrollable than coronavirus. So we have to take these TEWU members to their strike seriously. Your job with them, make sure they come so that our campus will be clean and will be safe from cholera. So we have to take both factions, the TEWU, the senior staff members. We have to take their strike seriously. We have to negotiate with them so that their grievances will be solved and they will come back to work and help students.
As you can recall, we declared strike as far back 21st of January 2021, and we are still on strike because it's an indefinite strike. There have been some progress. Government, through the National Labour Commission and FOAGs, have had some engagement with us. But notwithstanding, this is not the first time that we have seen such an arrangement, and it did not yield any fruit. So this time around, we are taking cautiously. Although government has called us, has promised that we should come to the negotiation table, we want to put government into commitment by having a roadmap with us, so that we make sure that going forward, whatever they've said or the timeline that will be given will be adhered to. We don't want a situation whereby they will just ask us to call off the strike, we call off the strike, and they'll go back to their usual tactics of dragging feet. This time around, we are very, very serious. For that reason, although we have had some engagement with them, we are not ready to call off the strike till a roadmap is set so that we know the exact timelines for us to go or complete with the negotiations. Yeah, obviously we know that our strike action has a rippling effect when it comes to the delivering of quality and good academic work. That is why we are all pleading with government that as soon as practicable, whoever is responsible of ensuring that our grievances are adequately addressed, government should please intervene and make sure that all these grievances are being addressed within the shortest possible time, so that we can go back to normalcy where academic work can't be delivered efficiently and effectively through the service of the senior staffs. For my staff, please, our strike is indefinite. Don't allow anyone to intimidate you to come to work. Our grievances are legally due us. The things we are fighting for, they are legally due us. For this reason, please, no one should come to the office till you hear from our national executives or our local executives with the relation with our strike action. Please, no one should come to the office till you hear from our national executives or our local address the relation with our executives. Please, no one should come to the office till you hear from our national executives or our local address our strike action. Our executives. Please, no one should come to the office till you hear from our national executives or our local address our strike action. Our executives. Please, no one should come to the office till you hear from our national executives or our local address our strike action. Our executives. Please, no one should come to the office till you hear from our national executives or our local address our strike action. Our executives. With the relation with office till you hear from our national executives or our local address our strike action. Our executives. With the relation with office till national executives or our local you hear from our national strike action. Our executives. With office till national executives or our local the relation with our strike action. You hear from our national executives, with national executives or our local office till the relation with address. Please, no one should